Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Torrenzano, and this is episode 263 of the world famous University Love, the best podcast in 1, 2, 3 galaxies. Ladies and gentlemen, you and I, we just call it online marketing moves, and we are coming to you live today. Today is Monday, April 26th, 2021, at the time of this recording. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a new week. It's a new week. What are you going to do to finish off April very strong? I'm excited for May because it's my birthday, my wife's birthday, and my mom's birthday. It's a lot of birthdays in May, I believe. May is a very exciting. Apparently, May is a good time. Well, whatever month you make a baby, to have one in May, apparently that's a very exciting time for people. I don't know. Grace Jones was born in May. Me and Grace Jones, we share a birthday. Me, Grace Jones, and Malcolm X. Boom. All right. So there you go. You can figure that part out. But anyway, today we are going to talk about why you should be uploading content on a regular basis, because it helps out your search engine optimization. Being consistent will definitely get you pretty far when it comes to blogging, when it comes to vlogging for the YouTube people or you video people, and when it comes to podcasting. Now, you definitely don't have to do it on a daily basis, but you want to make it consistent. Twice a week, once a week, doesn't matter. Make sure you are uploading content on a regular basis, because it helps your search engine optimization. When people see that you are producing videos every day and somebody falls on your video, it will say, hey, if you like that video, you should like these other videos that this guy has posted. And the more videos, the more content you have, the more your search engine people will be able to find you, because that's just how it is. Google likes people who pumps out content. And it also helps you out, because people will see that, hey, this guy, he's very for real. This guy's very serious. This guy or girl are very serious about the content that they produce. And it also is cool when you, because this has happened to me a few times, somebody will, find whatever you are producing. Now we have to use, I use the example. Somebody finds this podcast, somebody likes this podcast, and then somebody says, I'm going to download all 200 and something episodes of the podcast. That helps out you as far as, making some money, and that helps out, and that helps bring somebody else into your universe, which that is what you want at the end of the day, I know a lot of people are still talking like customers, but you want customers, you want people that are going to stick around for a very long time. You are looking for those, not every, now, of course, not everybody's going to be a super fan, but those, more than anything, that is what you're looking for. Somebody that's going to be sticking around and buying product after product, not all the products, of course, but you want somebody to be very open with their, their wallet, and somebody that believes in you, somebody that trusts you, and somebody, if you say, hey, I've written this book and I would like to sell it for, $20, and they're like, boom, I'm buying that book. I believe in this guy. Those are the kind of customers you're looking for. People that, as soon as you like, hey, pre-sale, I have this pre-sale, who wants to buy the book? And people are like, boom, I don't know what the book's about, but I believe in him. Boom, I want to buy the book. And so it's easy. You're a lot easier to be found, and you will be a lot easier to be discovered and found by the more people find you on the search engine optimization. You know what I mean? So you definitely want to be more consistent. You definitely want to be, out there when it comes to producing content. You want to produce as much content as possible. The more content you produce, the better off you will be. Bother me, sir. Not like that. Boom. Anyway, I'll tell you what, people are doing. I don't know why I always forget to put my phone on airplane mode. I record, I record on the computer now, and then I always forget to put it on airplane mode. But the phone, I have an iPhone and then I have a Mac, and people people call, and then of course it always goes from the if I don't sit on the phone, it will go right to the computer and it takes me off the screen. It's very annoying. But anyway, back to back to producing content. Yeah, so you want to produce as much content as possible, and you want to be able to be found. You want to be able to be discovered because I know the last couple of weeks we talked about paid ads and everything like that, but you don't want to blow all your budget trying to trying to find people to be like, hey, listen to me, hey, watch this video. If you could just get discovered, that would be a whole lot better. And the more content you produce, the easier you will be able to be found. People say, hey, because I'll give you an example. I have a little cousin, cute, cute little cousin of mine. He texted me. He said, "Hey, I'm coming out with a podcast." I said, oh, "Okay, that's cool." And he was telling me all about the podcast. And I remember he had a little trailer. And he's like, "Every Friday, I'm going to come out with a podcast." And you know, he came out with one on one Friday, and I listened to it. And I said, "I'm gonna give my cousin a shot." And then I came back the next Friday, no podcast. I come back the next Friday, no podcast. 3 Fridays in a row. I said, all right, this guy, he's not coming out with any more podcasts. So I just sort of, forgot about it. And then it's been a few months, and I checked the other day, and I looked, and I was like, oh, still no podcast. So I just deleted his his podcast off my phone. I was like, oh, he's not coming out with any more podcasts. So you see how that works, and that's a family member of mine. So of course, I'm gonna give them more rope than I would, just some other person. But plus he's a little younger, so I'm gonna give him more rope. But if I took a 3 day sabbatical once, and of course I was like, hey, I'm taking 3 days. I'm taking 3 days off. So blah 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 blah. But if I just disappeared for like 2 weeks, you would be like, I'm not listening to this guy no more. What are you on drugs or something? Like you just disappeared, fell off the face of the earth without an explanation. You're building an audience. You're trying to grow an audience. So if you say, hey, twice a week I'm coming out with these podcasts, then come out with these podcasts. Like I've I've started. I've kept the podcast consistent. The one thing that I definitely have to work on is the YouTube. Like, if the YouTube, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do a YouTube. I'm gonna start the YouTube, and it doesn't happen. But we're consistent with the podcast, so I need to get consistent with the YouTube. Why do I need to get consistent with the YouTube? Because I want to get discovered on YouTube as well as on the podcast. So the more videos you shoot, the more people they will say, hey, well, like Google or YouTube will recommend your channel. If you produce every day and they see that you're producing every day, they will highly recommend your channel. And video is, for some people, video is a lot powerful than the podcast. Like the podcast is more intimate. Don't get me wrong. Like you and I have a connection on the podcast, but more people will watch a video, or more people will listen to whatever on the YouTube than they will a podcast. It's just how it is. But you want to get consistent on all this stuff. You know what I mean? You just want to get consistent on your content, point blank, period. So you definitely want to get discovered more, because if people find you, they're more likely to stick with you than you paying for an ad, because people are fleeting when it comes to that. You're like, hey, listen to this podcast. And they're like, all right, I'll listen. And then it's like, but if they find you and then they like you, they're more likely to stick with you than somebody just being like, oh, I saw this guy. I saw this ad for this guy. You know what I mean? So this is why you definitely want to. This is why you definitely want to stick with the content creation on a regular basis. All right. So I hope this episode helps. Get out there, start creating. Start creating your content on a regular basis. You know what I mean? So that way you can get discovered very easily, and you can avoid, because word of mouth is like one of the best things you can do. It's a lot better than paying. The less you have to pay for advertising, the better off you will be. So, I'm not saying you don't pay for ads, but you definitely want to, try to figure out, different ways you can get discovered. And search engine optimization is one way you can get discovered. All right. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for the episode. We will be back tomorrow with all new episode of Online Marketing Moves. But until then, take care of yourselves. My name is Tony Rizzano. And if you haven't already, ladies and gentlemen, what are you waiting on? Subscribe to the podcast. Get in here. Learn every day something new, And if you haven't already, go to the YouTube channel that we just spoke about. Subscribe to the channel because we will be producing videos on a regular basis. Right now, the office is a little in shambles right now, so I don't want to shoot too many videos in the office. Had to do a little rearranging of the furniture, but by May, June, we'll have this whole YouTube thing all figured out, and we will start producing videos on a regular basis. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, take it easy, take care of yourselves, and as always, everybody, peace.